old Hindu scripture called Bhavisya Mahapurana, which dates back to 115 AD. On page 282, it is written that a Hindu king of India called Raja Shailawahin went to a country in the Himalayas. There he saw a Raja of Sakas, which means a king of foreigners, who was of fair colour, complexion, and wore white clothes. A brief passage out of the text is worthy of note. The king asked the holy man who he was. The other replied, "I am called a son of God, born of a virgin, minister of the non-believers, relentless in the search of truth." The king then asked him, "What is your religion?" The other replied, "O great king, I come from a foreign country where there is no truth and where evil knows no bounds. In the land of the non-believers I appeared as the Messiah, the blissful image of Isa, which is the Indian word for Jesus. The giver of happiness will remain forever in the heart, and I was called Isa Masih." Masih is again the Indian word for Messiah. After the king heard these words, he took the teacher of the non-believers and sent him to their pitiless land. Isa Masih, I've just said that, okay. It should be noted that in the original text, the name Isa Masih is given as a proper name without any explanation. At this point, I would like to show you a clip from a documentary called Jesus in the Himalayas, shown on the Discovery Channel in 2001.
I've been doing amazing research since I started this project, and some of the stuff doesn't really hold up too much. But every once in a while you find something which is incredible. I just come across the Bhavisya Mahapurana, which was written in the 2nd century. And in that very respected, well-known work, King of Kashmir meets in the 1st century, just a few years AD, a fair-complected, fair-haired teacher dressed in robes who comes from the West, who describes himself as being born of a virgin, describes himself as being persecuted by his own people as the Son of God, and his name, according to this traveler, is Isa Messiah, which is Jesus in India. So it's a pretty amazing piece of evidence.
This testimony cannot be trivially waved aside. The scripture of the entirely different religion of Hinduism has recorded in 115 AD a man who completely and perfectly fits the description of Jesus Christ. This cannot be a forgery, for indeed there cannot be any ulterior motive as to how the inclusion of this incident could have in any way benefited the Hindus. The 10th evidence that Jesus survived the crucifixion and travelled to Kashmir can be found in the Quran. Please let it be noted that the verses I'm about to quote can be found one verse previously in some Qurans, depending upon the numbering system. With regard to the events of the crucifixion, the Quran fully supports the events detailed in the eyewitness account that I just read you. The Quran clearly speaks of both the assertions of Jesus' opponents and the appropriate rebuttals to those assertions. His opponents are cited as saying, "We did slay the Messiah, Jesus, son of Mary," chapter 4, verse 158. And the rebuttal to this assertion is found in the very same verse. "They slew him not, nor did they crucify him, but he was made to appear to them like one crucified. And those who differ therein are certainly in a state of doubt about it. They have no certain knowledge thereof, but only pursue a conjecture, and they did not convert this conjecture into a certainty. On the contrary, Allah exalted him to himself, and Allah is mighty, wise." It is important here to make a side point. Over the past 1400 years, Christians and Muslims have lived in close association in many parts of the world. Indeed, many Christians have become Muslims. As a result, certain Christian beliefs have found their way into the beliefs of Islam, and it is necessary here to pause and take a moment to consider them. The vast majority of Muslims in today's world believe that before Jesus was arrested by the Roman army, God caused Judas to look like Jesus. Judas was subsequently arrested and crucified, while Jesus was raised to heaven in his physical body and has been there for the past 2,000 years. It is a belief that has elements of the Christian ascension in it. Muslims base their belief upon the verses that you see before you now. They believe that the statement, "Nor did they crucify him," mean that Jesus was not even put on the cross.
Okay.